Yes.
We're Mother Mary, and you're watching Getting the Gig.
Oh, fantastic. Getting the Gig is a spinoff of the Break It Down show. And the Break It Down show is the podcast that you guys did with Pete. So if you'd like to, I'm going to encourage our viewers to go back to the episode of the Break It Down show, because it really tells a lot of your backstory. And we can touch on as much of that as you want, because it is such an important part of your artistic vision and where your artistic vision evolved to. But I would like to focus, the Getting the Gig focus is on your artistic vision, your execution, your production process, stuff like that. And we'll talk about those things. We should put a link in the description to get you to the Break It Down show episode, because both of you, more accurately, each of you, went through a transformation in your lives. And it's easy to think that this happened simultaneously, because you look at twins and you think, oh, you guys must have done everything together. But the reality is that you had separate crises of faith that led to like a spiritual awakening. And in order for your art to be what it is, each of you had to go through that. Did you each have to go through it separately, or is that something you could have gone through together and still evolve into the collective band Mother Mary that you are?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we had to do it separately, our own way. Yeah, we had to do it separately, I think. Even being twins, like, everyone kind of thinks that you're exactly the same, but we've always been kind of yin and yang. And so the ways in which I guess I adapted because of growing up in the Mormon church, and the ways that Elyse adapted because of growing up in the Mormon church, were actually really opposite. And so our way out was really different and had a really different timeline. So yeah, I really don't think we could have done it like it's together. Hard to imagine a different universe, like where it happened differently. I guess it could have, but I don't know. But it didn't happen that way. And
well, the two of you are the youngest of 11, right?
Yeah.
And most of, not all, but most of your siblings had their own sort of spiritual awakening. Is it true that a majority of the siblings are no longer attached to the church you grew up in?
A majority. Yeah. Out of 11, there's really only one sibling that I know that, and I don't even really know, they don't speak to us, but
right.
The last I heard, they're still active, but everyone else is not active in the Mormon church. It's my mom is the only one left. Essentially, our dad did pass away, though. Well, our mom, and then one sibling, one sibling. Yeah.
Wow. Well, when you emerged from the, I'm using your words, not mine. Although whether I agree or not, I'll leave up to interpretation. I've heard you use the word cult. And when you emerged from that kind of existence to sort of your spiritual independence and your ability to express yourself however in the fuck you want. And I'm not encouraging you to, use profanity on this show. I'm just saying that needed to be said that way.
Use profanity?
I mean, I'm for it. I'm in favor.
PG. Okay. Just let us know.
Yeah.
I swear.
No, let it fly. But getting back to that question, I forgot what the question was. Let me finish the intro, though.
Oh, yeah.
So I want our viewers to know that Mother Mary is ultimately a groovy pop music act that is as much visual, it's whimsical, it's provocative, it's ultimately wonderfully powerful. And it is meant to be enjoyed with all of the senses. So you're gonna dig the music. It's definitely music that you can, that you can dance to with your eyes closed, or that you can drive home from work to. But if you really want the immersive experience, it's best that you watch the videos and check them all out. You have a new single called Set Me on Fire That's awesome, and you should enjoy it on YouTube so you can see it as well as hear it. But buy it in all its forms, and I'm encouraging our viewers. You two are always on tour, and you should go see the live act. For those of us in the Bay Area, it's coming to the Great American Music Hall in October, and will be awesome. I am mildly ashamed, although I wallow in the shame, to say that your material works on me real good.
Ooh,
I get way into it. I dig it. You know, it's groovy. I'm a drummer, so no matter what, it has to be groovy. But all the provocativeness takes me to that place where I'm like, ooh, should I? I shouldn't. Yes, I should. Yeah, I should enjoy it all. So I mean that in the least but probably most creepy way. I don't know which.
you feel ashamed to be, but that, you know, the funny thing is I like that it's doing that in a way, because like I don't want anyone to feel shame really, because that's what we were put into. But the fact that it's making you recognize that gives you shame, and that's a societal gift, a thing that was
Yes.
put on you, and that and to realize then that there is no reason for that shame. And I think that having that experience, I hope, might help people realize that, you know, you can check the moments that you feel shame, and you can reprogram. You know, we felt
or
like
at
we
least
question the shame.
Why am I feeling shame?
Should I be feeling shame? You know, do I need to feel shame here, or is that an old story?
Yeah.
And we have like,
because it is purposeful. Like we are purposefully provocative, and it's funny because sometimes people are like, oh, you girls don't need to be and it's like, no, that's the whole point. The whole point is that we're pushing the envelope, and we're making you question. We're doing things that women are supposed to, not do. And we're supposed to be coy. We're supposed to not enjoy our sexuality. We're supposed to, protect our, honor, or our virginity, or things like that. And it's just all of that is modest, to be,
so patriarchal, so like anti-womanhood, anti-sexuality, and like that's the opposite of what we want. Like we want people to question the way that they're raised, and to like wonder, like, is nurturing my sexuality a good thing? Like, is it like, yes, I mean, to me, I'm like, obviously, but like so many people, it's like, oh, it's like that's taboo, and you feel shame about it, and it's like wrong. But it's like, it's obvious that like your sexuality, like your intelligence or your humor, is like something that you can healthily develop, and it doesn't make you a creep. Like being a creep is a separate thing, but it's just all been equated and mixed up and confused.
And also like us showing our bodies or being comfortable with our sexuality, like, that might make some people feel uncomfortable. But it's literally like an act of, of freedom for us, and like a liberation, like a way of actually like
freeing up ourselves
and
from,
it's like it's cathartic is the word I'm looking for, because we grew up in such a controlling, like high control religion. That's why we call it a cult. A cult is
repressive
religion, and it was very, I mean, church was a part of like every part of our day, and our schooling and so forth. But and like women are so like shut down sexually and in so many other ways. So like the sexuality part of it is one part. Then there's like the transgressive, there's the sacrilegious parts of it. There's all these parts of it that kind of bring up shame, and like that we're pushing against, that we want people to kind of think about. But especially I feel like men, and I get it, because like after, I don't know, I feel like some men are confused, like after Me Too and stuff, like we had guys come up and they're like, can I talk to you about like how I feel during your show or when I listen to your music? And they're like, I feel like sexy, and like I'm turned on, and like then I feel bad, I'm ashamed, because like I shouldn't be doing that. And I'm like, No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
Everything is about context,
context.
time and place.
Yeah.
Like we're literally, we are evoking sexuality. Like you should feel sexual.
I
Like,
want you to. That's
great.
okay.
Yeah,
That
we're
is
enjoying
okay.
it. We're like, it's an open invitation. Maybe not for anyone to like, touch us per se, but it's like we're literally like
We're inviting you to
Yeah.
engage
To embrace
in
your
your
own-
own
yeah.
sexuality and enjoy that and nurture it. And yeah, I think it's where people don't understand in our society that like you can enjoy sexuality, you can celebrate someone enjoying theirs or nurturing it or performing it without like taking it for yourself, without being like, I own it. Like, well, that's mine then. And
Yeah.
like, because you performed it, then I get something from you. Like you gave it, right? It's like, no, you don't. You are sharing a feeling, like an essence of, that beautiful feeling. But like, yeah, it's like, no, you don't get to grab me because I, am in a latex outfit and I'm enjoying like dancing and being provocative. Like, but you can be turned on and you can be like, man, that was exciting. Like, wow, like, that opened me up in these ways. Or like a lot of women talk to us about like, wow, I just like, damn, like I want to feel that liberated. Like I don't feel like I have permission to enjoy my body, like, and to be in it and be proud of it and be like, this is sexy. And like, like that's so sad. Like we should all get to feel that. We should all get to like embrace that. Cause it's like one of the best feelings in the world.
It seems like
joy of life.
I think because of like some critiques on society of like, oh, we're using women's bodies to sell things, which is true. Like, and that is,
If you don't like it, don't buy it.
but it's like, it can't, so it's like someone else can like use a woman's body to sell something. And then, but when you're enjoying your own sexuality, it's very different.
That's the difference between exploitation and expression.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think
It gets confused.
the
People get
conversation,
confused.
it's like everyone gets hung up on like, okay, if women are showing their bodies, then it's exploitation. It's
and,
like,
it has to be
no.
for men or something.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
And I'm like, no, actually, like you talk to women, like you talk to a real woman in a real life, and it's like, oh, do you dress up like this? Do you wear this thing for men? Do you put all this? It's like, no, it's for me.
It's for
like
ourselves,
truly,
yeah.
like most women, there was like a study, and it's like, no, I wear the makeup, I wear the the cute cunty skirt, that like that's for me. I'm not like, if I was dressing for men, I would look way different. It's like, let us enjoy what women's and like queer folk, like what our
and men too.
sexuality
I hope
brings.
men
Yeah,
also
yeah.
can
And
feel
also,
free to
yeah.
express themselves as well. Like men are very much in a cage as well. We're all in our own
They're in a prison of
gilded
yeah.
little cages, and hopefully people can
Yeah.
kind of watch us and be like, wow, they're
just doing whatever the fuck they want to do,
And
that's what I want
Yeah.
people to
yeah.
wow, they just really went there. So maybe I have a few more inches that like I'll feel safe in. I'm just like, I don't care. Like I'll go out there, I'll perform naked on stage, and I'll like, because it gives me so much joy to be like, we were so trapped, right? We were so like, cover yourself, like don't,
be ashamed of
don't
your
be
body,
yeah.
like
don't like, turn men on. Don't like, it's like there was such a cage of like what other people think and what how they, me making other people do things, which is so bullshit. But so now I'm just like, it's so liberating to be like, for everybody, I'm just going to do whatever the fuck I want on stage. I'm going to wear whatever I want. I'm going to like take my top off and like, I don't care.
yeah, it's our body. We can do what we want. You don't have to come and watch,
Yeah.
but like that, we're going to do what we want. And
and maybe you'll feel more comfortable. Like
expressing yourself.
maybe as a straight man to like, do something that typically isn't allowed under, under your mask. You guys are so cut. It's like you only have two things to wear, like maybe you'll feel like you can paint your nails if you want to, or like, I don't know. It's like a dumb example.
Yeah.
But I just really like, that's a core of Mother Mary. It's like liberating people and, not getting stuck under these like old patriarchal and like sexist ideas that like women are not sexual. Like, I'm just like, that's such a huge part of it. We literally create.
Or don't deserve enjoyment.
Yeah, don't
on their own
deserve
terms.
pleasure in general. Like,
Yeah.
we don't deserve. Women are not like,
they're for other people's pleasure in our society.
Yeah.
They're not to
And
enjoy
for
their own.
service.
And for service. So it makes people really uncomfortable when you are like, I'm having pleasure, I'm enjoying it. And it's like, it makes people feel uncomfortable. They're like,
Yeah.
you like, you know, it's like, it's when it's different when a guy is doing that, you know, like a rock star male is doing it, everyone's like, oh yeah, like, oh my God, you know, like,
Yeah. Look at him. Go after it.
and go, ugh, and we're all turned on and we're like, yeah, of course that's okay. Like, oh, it's so hot. And like, he's just doing whatever he wants. He's wearing tight pants. He's like, you know, and it's
The
like,
moment a woman does it, they think it's manipulative. They think it's
Yeah.
like we're doing it. Somehow we're exploiting ourselves, which that doesn't really make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, okay. So my comment about shame stands, and you've probably defined it better, because it's not, I think, you know, like you said, this is to spark introspection, and really we're looking inward. So I don't feel bad about watching your videos and like, you know, because I'm not leering it, but it's making me question, like, what is it that excites me?
yes.
You know,
Yeah.
because there's non-traditional things that, you know, that are going on, and everybody can get into whatever they get into. But when you spark something new in your own imagination, and then you feel bad about it, you're like, well, why aren't we examining that? That's really what we should be taking a look at.
Yes, exactly. I love that. Yeah.
So in the guise of some, you know, really groovy pop tune, here I am questioning what makes me excited. And the whole purpose of really good art is to make you not only entertained, but to make you ask questions, to make you explore something, to hopefully move you in a direction that you can be a little better, you know, just walking around on the planet.
Yeah. I mean, I love that so much. And I mean, because isn't it really just like, I don't know, masculinity, like, you know, I don't want to talk to you know more about this than me, but growing up with a lot of brothers and like watching it's just so like what you are allowed to do and express and feel is like this funnel that just gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and tighter, and the grip is around it, and it's like you try one little step outside and everyone's pointing, and like, you know, and it's I can't imagine. It's so it's such a prison. But I just think of that, and it's like you're listening to a song that you like, and I think that's so cool that, yeah, when you feel the shame, you're noticing it and you're questioning it. And like, that's going to take you down a really interesting path. Like,
and then you play around the edges of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, wow, like I was enjoying this thing. This shame came up. Where is that coming from? What's that telling me? How can I transgress that, you know, and maybe expand what I like. Gosh, I just want to free people, like expand what I'm able to do in my life, and like not have this shame around it, you know.
You know what I'd like each of you to do is take a minute to address the like your teenage self, your repressed, like right in the middle of all your programming self. And what would you say to that person to introduce yourself as who you are right now? Like, guess what? This is you. You are me. Here's what I am right now.
Oh, she was so sad. I don't know. First of all, I just want to give her the biggest hug and tell her that she's not evil, and, you know, that she's worthy, and I love her. And it makes me emotional. I was in a dark place, like especially in high school, just because you grew up your whole life being told that, you know, you're innately evil, essentially, and you're, you know, expected to be perfect. You're a teenager. There's no way you can be.
You got raging hormones and growth to deal with, and
so much guilt. I was just living with so much guilt. But then I think
big hug.
Yeah, I think if I introduced her to me, like, she would be psyched. I mean, it was a dream of mine to be an artist, but I never thought I was allowed to. That was just like, I was like, no, of
course I have to be a wife and a mother. And like, but secretly, like I would daydream about like being in a band, and like I'd make up songs ever since we were little, like so ever since we were like 5 years old, we were like making up songs. Yeah, I think she would be really, and then I think she would be scared. She'd be like really excited, but then she'd be like, oh no, you're going to hell. And I'd have to be like, okay, let's sit you down. Let's have a whole conversation about,
Oh boy.
you know, brainwashing, the history of the Mormon church. I don't know. It would, I wonder about that. Cause like
it would lead to a long conversation for sure.
Yeah.
Or it could. Elyse, what about you? What do you tell the 14-year-old you?
What would I tell the 14-year-old?
I mean, wait a minute. Elyse in black.
Larena. Yeah, Elyse started. Yeah, Larena. It's amazing. We also sound the same. What would I tell the 14-year-old me? I think, man, it's so hard. I think one of the first things I'd say is like if I was so it's like I'm telling them who I become, basically. Is that the question?
Yeah, you're meeting your 14-year-old self. And your 14-year-old self's looking at you like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah. And she's like,
what's
shocked.
happening?
Like,
yeah.
You're wearing, your shoulders are showing, your midriff is showing.
Yeah.
And she's like scared. I think she would be like excited. She'd be like, oh my gosh, phew. You know, I picture it. And I'd be like, it's okay. Like, don't worry. The church is not true.
Yeah.
It's okay. I found out. Trust me. I'm older. I'm wiser. Just trust me. It's not true. And don't worry. Like, you're not going to become like your worst nightmare, which is like, you know, a mom who's like hated by her husband at home all the time, slaving away. Like, you're gonna dress how you want to, like those sexual feelings you have, you're gonna embrace them. You're gonna go out and you're gonna like have love. You're gonna have many loves, and you're gonna feel free and happy, and like those things that like the church made you feel sick about, and your stomach, and you felt guilt over, but like you couldn't resist. Like those things actually, like the natural man they told you to avoid, like that's actually you. That's your normal healthy sexuality. Like that humor that you had, like that's just you're funny, and you're like weird, and you're like, yeah, you're like sexual, and you're not ashamed of it, and you're queer, and like those are all good things, actually. People will celebrate you for that, for those things that you're ashamed of now. People will celebrate you for like your style, and for your boldness, and for like your aspirations, like for wanting to learn, for wanting to like have a career, for like all those things that everyone's shaming about you now. Later, they're all going to be like, wow, I'm really impressed that like you want those things, or like not even just
that you question
that you go for these things, that you don't just follow the norm, you know, the standard life. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I would say that. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard.
I think the important part of that is that many somebodies probably need to hear that, who are not your 14-year-old selves, but who are right now their 14-year-old selves. You know, and the struggles that you went through are struggles that somebody, if they can see some light at the end of the tunnel, you know, that's ultimately, I think, what Mother Mary really is out to do in all of its provocativeness.
You're totally
100%.
right.
And honestly, like I wouldn't take any of it back the way that it happened, because it just, that experience of you know, believing something and being really fully brainwashed, and then realizing I was wrong, that was the most humbling experience of my entire life. And it was like the darkest but the most beautiful, you know, time in my life. And I had to start all over again with like, what do I believe? Do I even believe in good and evil? Like, who am I? And being able to do that was, yeah, like
start from scratch.
Complete scratch. It was so beautiful, and I just wouldn't be who I am without that.
Which one of the two of you went first?
I left first, yeah.
Okay, so the and what's the time difference?
I
wanted to stay. I was in college and I wanted to finish college. So it was basically like 4 or 5 years difference, like 4 years, I think. She dropped out of college and left the church, and I stayed in the church until basically just after I left college.
Okay.
Because I was at a Mormon private college, and I was forced to marry when I was 19 because I had sex with my boyfriend. So that for me is a big part of my story. It's like I was going to lose my ability to finish my education if I didn't marry the first guy I'd ever had sex with. And like my first ever real boyfriend. So I was kind of like, I had to do that. And I sort of,
to be clear, the two of you were consenting adults. And what was at stake was your education was going to be ripped away from you. If you didn't.
I told the bishop that we had had sex, and I had, you sign an honor code, you agree to an honor code when you go to BYU, that if you commit certain sins like sex, which is basically murder in Mormonism, that you will be immediately kicked out and like lose your ability to go to school. And like I was on a full ride scholarship, and I had received a theater scholarship that had a stipulation that if you didn't graduate with a theater degree, that you would have to pay that back. So I was I had already spent all this money, like a year in school, and I was 19 years old, and I was
your hormones rung you up a big fat bill.
Oh, they rung me up a huge bill, and I was like that I couldn't pay. And our dad was sick. Our family, he had 11 children. We didn't have any money. He was sick and not working. Like most of my siblings didn't go to college, and I was like, oh no, like I'm about to be kicked out, shamed in front of my entire community, sent home. Back to Montana, where I just, I didn't see myself. I was like, I have to escape Montana. And then I was going to have to pay back these loans, and then like basically be kicked out of school, and I would lose all the credits. Or like little 19-year-old, actually, I think, say 18 still. I was like 18 or 19 when I was talking to the bishop. And he basically forced me to like divulge all the sexual sins I'd ever done, including like the time I was molested, and I had to go into detail with this like 60-something-year-old man. I'm like 18 years old. And then after that, he was like, well,
and he's shaming you about this.
He's like, of course, he's like, oh, like for like the molestation, he was like, oh, but also like, it's kind of your fault because like, because women, like, it's our fault when men like prey on us, right? Because what did we do, right? What did you wear?
Yeah, we must have done something.
I must have invited it, I must, in some way.
This is a bishop, so he's sitting on the moral high ground as far as he's concerned.
Sitting on a moral high ground, and he's, hey, I'm here. I'm telling him he's asking if I masturbated. He's asking when it started. He's asking how many times I think I've done it. Like what happens when I do it? Like details, like, do you get wet? Like specific, this is so creepy, So I'm like traumatized because I'm like never told anyone this, but now I'm telling all my first sexual experiences to like a 67, I don't know, something 68-year-old man. I don't know.
So this guy in an enormous position of power.
An enormous position, a huge chair, an enormous position of power, huge desk. I'm just like this little chair, And then he's like, okay, like, it sounds like you're repentant, like, technically he's not allowed to do this, but he was like, I'm going to do you a favor. And if you promise to go through the miracle of forgiveness with me, so I have to go through all these meetings with him and like, keep confessing sins and everything.
Okay. And come on.
And marry, my ex, like my now ex, but marry my first boyfriend. Then he won't tell the school. And I just was like, whatever, I was like, so like I do.
Of course.
In this like hour and a half session of like divulge, I'm bawling, my face is red. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like I'm not getting kicked out and sent home. Like, yeah. He's like, do you love your boyfriend? I was like, yeah, I love him. He's my first boyfriend. I love him. And he's like, okay, well, if you guys will get married. And I was like, yeah, I'll get married. Like, and then it was just like, I had to commit, from there, I was like, thoughts would come up, of what are you doing? Like, you're lying. Like, this is a lie. But I was just like, shut it, push it down. Like, you're really good at that as a Mormon. Push it down. Push the thoughts down.
So
like,
you're told that literally, like, you're told those thoughts are like the devil, or like, so like any thoughts that are against what your leaders or the church is saying, is literally said,
It's just
told to you that
you assume it's Satan. You're
it's
like,
Satan.
okay, that's it. Which it was just my intuition.
Yeah.
But I was like, you don't want to do this. But you know, at the end, like Elyse, I am grateful that I went through all of that, because I think when you're in such a stark, crazy sort of paradigm, that once you figure out that it's bullshit, you burst out of it and then you question all the others, which I don't think everyone gets to. People who grew up in a really kind of normal family and nothing that they grew up seems crazy, like nothing, everything's like, well, no, like the way that our family does this is normal. And like, we're normal. And like, they never question like societal things, or like, you know, it's like maybe like the way that we do marriage in our country, which is so religious, and like, or maybe like they don't question like a political thing that they grew up learning, but it's really like we really forced ourselves to be like, okay, we grew up believing like a hilarious like joke basically about it, you know, and we believed it.
I was going to say fairy tale and you said joke.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so ridiculous.
It's a ridiculous fairy tale. It's like a tragic comedy, and that's what we believed. And then you're like out of it, and you're like, wow, you feel so dumb. You're so humbled, and then you're really like, okay, let me just look at everything. Like, let me look at the way, like I work. Like, what's my relationship to that? What's my relationship to relationships, to dating, to like my sexuality? I was like, oh, I'm bisexual. Like all these things came out, or, you know, because I had to question, and it was like the most terrifying time in my life, and I still look at it as like the most exciting, the most beautiful time of my life.
Yeah, the emergence part, the discovery part, this is kind of the part that comes out in all of your art.
Yeah.
Wow. What about your process when you write songs? Do you already have the visuals in mind, or do you start with grooves? Do you start with poems? Where do you two start?
Usually I start with like a beat. Like I kind of just I'm like the producer of the two of us, so I'll just like kind of like, you know, make a cool bass.
So writing and producing is a simultaneous process for you.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, like some people will write lyrics first, but we almost never do that. Like, so I'll write like a instrumental essentially, and if I, you know, once it gets to the point where I'm like, okay, this is kind of groovy, then essentially we'll sing gibberish lyrics over it, which is common in the industry, because I think it's, you know, it's important to find like a melody that's nice. And I also think it's important to sing gibberish words, because it's easier to put lyrics to then. Because if you just do like, if you're just like, you know, humming or something, then you can never, you're like, I don't know what the song is about. But it's kind of amazing because when you sing gibberish words, you're almost doing a subconscious poem. And when you listen to it afterwards, like you'll hear things in it. Yeah, it's like
the musical vowel sounds come through.
It's weird. Like, no, like I really think your subconscious, like we'll just start like singing something, and like your subconscious will come out with, and we both did a lot of improv growing up, I will say. So like things, just words come up, and you say things, and you're like, later you listen to it and you're like, oh, like it's not a fully fleshed out lyric, but you're like, wait, some words came out that I wasn't even thinking of, but now it's making sense how they connect to the beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think of it like, you know, an artist who like does you know, chisels marble. And you know how they say it's like it's in there, but they have to like
they're uncovering
they're uncovering it. That's how I feel. It's like it's there, and there's like a spirit of the song in the room, you know, when we're writing, but like, you know, it's like we're uncovering it. So like though each step is right. Am I like, don't you think totally, it's like kind of like, it's like we're shaping.
I mean, a lot of the times, like it definitely feels like, you know, like they say, like with the muse, which is like, it just feels like sometimes like, it doesn't feel like I came up with it. It feels like it
was handed to you.
That just came out.
You had to be open for it.
And I have no idea why. And then, so we'll kind of do that until we like something, and then we'll kind of put lyrics to it. And it does feel like you're sort of uncovering something. Yeah.
This kind of goes back to your spiritual awakening though, because it's almost like you had to go through that to allow yourself the openness to be a channel.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So as you're going through your gibberish process, you're through gibberish and then, man, well, that doesn't sound good. That doesn't work. Does it work like that where you're just sort of the gibberish and then you get rid of the gibberish that doesn't work until you land on the one that does?
Tongues.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
It's
Like, there's all these really
speaking in tongues.
No,
So yeah, essentially the first focus is just like coming up with a vocal melody that's beautiful, that works with the instrumental. And then once it's like, ooh, that's beautiful, then the really hard part is putting real words, like switching out the gibberish lyrics for real words, to make something that's still, it's like actually so hard to beat the original scratch vocal because there's so much like emotion and there's something special.
Yeah.
Even some artists actually
Untouchable.
keep their gibberish, like the Cocktail Twins. Like a lot of their lyrics is gibberish. I think there's some
Earth,
other
Wind, and Fire. Everybody kind of does it.
like a lot of
be
people,
gibberish.
There's an essence to the feeling, and sometimes that's more important. Or like sometimes in songs, someone will just kind of like sing a little, run that almost sounds like words, and it's like I'm like, oh, that was probably part of their gibberish, and they just couldn't beat it, so they just left it in,
Yeah.
But yeah, so then we'll try to put words to it, and I feel like that's probably some of the hardest part, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, like if you were like, we both paint too, and I feel like it's like when you're painting, you're getting kind of the base colors in, and you're getting the vibe, blah, 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 but then at the end, it's like you've got your tiny little brush, and you're like, oh, like this little detail and that thing, and it's like, so that's what that stage feels like. It's like once we get there, and we're really like, it feels like a finishing touch, but it's like really important, and it's like making it pop, and it's like finalizing it, but it is sometimes like the hardest part. Everything else is just kind of flowing out, and you're like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then you get there, and you're like, okay, we're almost there. But it's so fun when you unlock it, when you're like, this one line is not working. And it's so funny, we were listening to old songs yesterday, like early draft, like early scratch vocals and early like demos of the songs. Mm-hmm.
And it was like hilarious hearing like the gibberish or like our first tries of lyrics to it. And it's like, now it's so obvious. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we thought that was potentially the answer. Yeah. And like, but when you hit it, when you're like, oh my duh, like you freak out. It feels so good. It's like kind of the hardest part, but it's like,
but that was the part you had to chisel away, because you just described both approaches. Like some of it is chiseling away, and then others are, well, I better put some of this back. Or I have to add these touches. So it's a little of both.
Yeah, it's
no, that
is so true, because like music writing is like you throw everything at the wall, and then you chisel away, and then you throw more shit at the wall, and then you chisel away, and you just keep doing that until you have your song. Yeah.
Who between the two of you more often decides that it's done?
Oh, Elyse.
Yeah.
I'm very controlling.
Is that?
We will fight, though. We will fight. Oh, Danielle will fight me.
No, there have been songs that we have, changed literally over years of time because we keep fighting and we can't agree. But at the end of the day, it is Elyse, like, because she's the producer, and like she's going to be the one that gets it like polished and ready to master. And I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you.
Yeah. Definitely, that's Elyse.
So, okay, Elyse is the producer. In your role as not the producer, Larena, how do you embrace that you're relinquishing some amount of that control, and what makes you comfortable saying, okay, I'm going to give this one up?
Yeah. It's a good question. That's been a really hard, that's been a hard part of it, is like, it's like always being the backseat driver a bit. And like, I think earlier on it was like, I was like, oh, like, let me in there, but I'm like, she's so good. She's such a good producer. And she's like so far advanced in that. And like, we finally started to realize like she would kind of control things that I'm really good at, and I was trying to control things that she was really good at. And we were like, oh yeah, no, like,
let's let each
the
other
secret
do
weapon
our thing.
Here we go.
always realize we're yin and yang. Like, she doesn't need to try to be me, and I don't need to try to be her. And we've both we went in kind of different directions in our life of building different skills. And so I try to just let her, I try to give her the reins on the things that she's kind of the anchor to, she's the driver of. But then there's other parts of Mother Mary that I'm the driver
Danielle's
of,
an incredible performer and storyteller and speaker and writer. So it's,
yeah, I feel
really lean
in
on
in the songwriting, it's I feel like it's because I had a theater degree, and I was doing, I'm coming up with concepts for a play, and I'm writing it, and then we're figuring out all these little things, and so I feel like sometimes Elyse gets in on she's producing in the minutia, and I'm wait, but actually what's happening here is this, and what would feel cool is if we had, if we're building this tension here, we need to have a release here, or a tease, or whatever, whatever. It's sometimes it's more like that, or lyrically, I'm oh wait, I'm seeing something. This is the story, or this is where we're going with, and or I'm just singing, Elyse produces something, and she's I can't get a top line for this, I don't know, and so then I'm okay, let me just play with top lines and singing and playing, doodling.
Yeah, and there's ways
but
that there's ways that Danielle sings that I can't, and vice versa. And so sometimes I'm I need you to sing this part because you have you're stronger in your falsetto, and I for some reason am a little stronger in my low.
She developed her chest voice
more.
Yeah. So we really have kind of, and then in other ways, because you said, we're just kind of as much visual as and
and so are you the more visual of the two of you?
We're very, very visual, but
we're both visual. Yeah.
Okay. I'm more of the storyteller, and when creating, it's our shows are kind of like a play. They're like a musical, and our performance art, or choreography, dancing, creating a lot of that, I kind of take the reins on. And
I'll come up with a mood board, and then Danielle actually makes it make sense. I'm just I just like the way this looks, and then Danielle actually
I try to give it
and
a soul,
gives it a soul, and
I'm oh, I see what you're doing here, and actually this connects to something that's meaningful to us, and make the spectacle mean something, and have a heart, and have purpose, so that people, even if you can't really verbalize it, you feel, wait, this is more meaningful than just latex, or this is more,
Yeah.
So we're both very good,
which
we're both very creative and very visual, and we both argue a lot about kind of every part of the process, but we tend to be there's things where it's she'll just defer to me, with I think with writing stuff, it's she just defers to me. If
Danielle's a better
producing,
speaker, I'm trying to explain what I mean, and then she just says it, and I'm great, amazing. Yeah.
It's nice to have a shorthand like that. Does it make sense when are there any collaborative projects that you've done with others?
Yeah.
And how does that work out?
Yeah, well, so we've directed music videos for other people. We have, for Mother Mary songs, we collaborate with other producers and songwriters all the time.
It's actually really nice, because sometimes it's we need a third, because we're fighting on something forever. And
a tiebreaker, kind of.
Yeah, tiebreaker. Yeah. We need a tiebreaker a lot, so we actually do collaborate a lot. And I'm yes, we get someone, and I'm okay, yes, I fight, they agree, or it's or Elyse is they agreed with me, and I'm fine, okay, someone else agreed, because sometimes you just get so in your head about stuff.
So plus, you're both multi-hyphenates. You guys both do all kinds of things. So if you're out, stretching your reach in all these areas, you're going to encounter people you want to collaborate with all the time.
Yeah, we're collaborating all the time, and it's really fun, and it's also really hard, to be honest. Collaboration is hard, but once you get there,
especially
it's
for two control freaks, we have to
yeah.
I'm we will if we're under the gun and we're shooting something or working on something and important, we have a limited amount of time, we will tell you if your idea we don't like it. We'll just immediately be I don't like that idea,
but we're going to do something, you know, like we just like, we're not afraid to do that, but also that can be really hard. And and we work with friends a lot, and that can be challenging. And, you know, there have been hurt feelings, and there have been like, I will say though, when we're working for someone else's vision, we're both very much like, oh, it's your vision. We're just here to make it happen. Yeah. And I'm just trying to listen. And we'll still be honest about like, that's not going to work because of this or that. But like, you know, professionally, but like when it's our
both those things are still being in service of the piece of art. You know?
Yeah, I do. I always want it to be in service of the piece of art and not the ego. And I, you know, I have to check myself with that sometimes. I'm like, am I just mad that like I feel like, you know, my idea wasn't heard? But I, you know, at the end of the day, I'm just like, just take a breath, and it's like, what's best for the piece, and hope. You know, I think that when there are differing opinions that are like, we're not afraid to share that, I think the art usually ends up being better because, you know, I don't know, there's something about fighting it out that like refines, you know? Yeah. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of art out there that someone should have been honest. Like,
someone should have been honest.
Coke commercial where they were like doing a protest, and it was like, so like, why didn't out of touch? Like someone should have been like, guys,
nobody told these people.
No one. That's a situation where no one felt safe. Yeah. No one felt safe enough to be like, we gotta. Nope.
Yeah. I mean, you know, sometimes nobody wants anyone to be bullied, but there were times where I got on a bus on my way to school, and I knew by the time I got to school, I should not have worn these pants. Sometimes we need to be told those things. But
poor boys, though, you guys have nothing to wear, though. I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You're right. The thing is, great art divides, and your art definitely creates divisions. You either get it or you don't. For the people out there who don't get it, what are they missing? What is it you'd like to tell them to try to get them closer to understanding what's going on?
Like, from the very beginning, we were just like, like you said, it's like, we're not trying to be McDonald's. We don't want everyone to like us. So
say that again. You're not trying to be McDonald's.
We're not trying to be McDonald's. We don't want everyone.
Pretty much everybody likes McDonald's.
Yeah,
but also that makes McDonald's not special.
People hate it, but yeah, exactly. It's like, what makes it not special is just like basically everyone can eat a McDonald's thing, and they're like, like people can all get behind it. It's like it's just kind of boring. It's and it's like,
and you don't feel great about it after you've done it.
It's not like exceptional, because you can't make something exceptional that's for the lowest common denominator. And so we've always been like, well, we're just like, we for sure are going to be hated and misunderstood because we're definitely not trying to make McDonald's. We're trying to be weird. We're trying to, I joke, I'm like, we're trying to be that weird, like stinky orange wine that like people are like, oh, and then other people are like, oh my God, it's delicious. It's just like, I don't want everyone to like us. I want it to be kind of, I mean, I guess controversial. Maybe. It's like we are we're trying to make people mad. That's the point. So if they're getting uncomfortable, upset, well, we're trying to make people think. But like, no, but we're being like very sacrilegious in like a way that we know is going to make people mad. And so I think it's kind of funny when they get mad. You think about it, like when the people are in our comments and they're just like, you're Satan worshippers, and I was like, haha, the joke's on you, because I don't even believe Satan exists, and you're like just boosting the algorithm with your hate.
So I guess you were saying,
but what would you say to that?
So that they can understand
that don't get it, or
so like people who don't get it, what would we say to them to get it so that they get it, or what would I want to? I think a couple things. One, I would say, don't take yourself so seriously. Like, we're very tongue-in-cheek. It's like all for pleasure. Like, these things, we're doing this for pleasure. Like, we're not doing this for money. Let me tell you. We're doing this for pleasure. And it's to make you think. It's to provoke feelings. It's to like get yourself more in touch with your own beliefs. So even if it just makes them whatever, like more firm and whatever, I'm like, okay, like that. I think good art does that. It makes you question what you're thinking. I would say, like, because I'm not going to change their minds, like if they're really religious. But
yeah, I think I would just say, like, if you don't get it, like, just imagine like how you feel when people don't get your thing, your religion or your whatever belief, and maybe stay open to, like,
Stay curious.
stay curious about other people's experiences and what that means to them and like why they're there. And like, I don't need to change everyone, but I think if people stay more curious and like truly, and they're like wondering, like, hey, well, why did Elyse and Larena make Mother Mary, and like, why are they so this way, and why and like, if you really dig in, like, you'll find answers. I think it's really clear. And like,
I know I asked you the question, but I'm going to add something to it, because what you're saying made me think to tell someone, like, okay, why did you make Mother Mary? That's a good thing to ask, but why are you? Maybe you should ask why you're so pissed off. I saw a person in your comments
yes,
that I immediately thought of when you said, that person. And I was like, yeah, that person. And when I was reading that, that person's comments, I was like, oh, this poor guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And I felt bad for him.
I truly feel really sad.
Because we were in that place too, where like I was, man, there's so many people I need to, like, I feel like apologize to from my past, where
and living in that state of mind, like when people go on there and they're really like ranting and raving, and like, and I think about, I put myself in their shoes, and I'm like, they live in a really scary world. Like we all do. But their world is really scary. It's really black and white. There's really no understanding for things that are different. And that must be really frightening. And they're just, I can tell they're just coming at it with fear. And I feel bad generally. And I'm like, but it's like, I also don't take things too seriously. So I'm like, I joke and I tease. And like, that's kind of how I show love. People take offense to it, but that's what I do to my brothers and my sister. And like,
You know what I think it is? I think a part of like the reason why we're doing such a theatrical, sacrilegious display is to show how ridiculous, some of the beliefs are, and that they are based in fear, and that's why they're controlling you. They're controlling you. Like, I'm sorry, like the story of Jesus is, or at least the crucifixion and the resurrection is like the most manipulative story ever. It's like there was a perfect human being, and he loves you more than anyone else. But
and it sure is a good thing, because you are so flawed.
Yeah, you are so flawed, and you made him suffer. You, the blood on his, it's yours.
Yeah, he bled from every pore.
It's like so
him to suffer.
It's so codependent. It's
died
like,
for your sins.
And God is like presented as like an abusive boyfriend. It's like, you must worship me forever and ever. I don't know. I'm just like, and it's like we kind of want to show how ridiculous that is. So in new ways that are like, just take it out of how they're used to seeing it and shift it a little bit, but do it the same way. And it's like that, it's so clear, like how manipulative, how crazy, how over the top it is. But people, if you don't really want to hear something, you don't want to see something, you're not going to see it. You're just going to be like, this is a blasphemous, blah, 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 and like, but that's okay. Cause like that type of stuff is what, like, they planted little seeds, and they grew, and it took time, but like those little seeds that, watching, Monty Python, like The Life of Brian, or like, it planted a little seed, and I was like, huh. Yeah. Humor really did that for me. I feel like humor really helped me out of that paradigm, the Mormon paradigm. And that's why I think we really like using humor too. It's like, because I think if you can get someone to laugh, you can keep them open and curious. And it's hard if someone laughs at something, deep down they know there's truth in that. They're feeling truth, because I think there is truth in comedy. Like there is. So that it's almost like a laugh is a good way to get surprised by truth, So it's like so if people can laugh, and if they can get on with it, like
I know I'm like they're under. It's easy to reach people through that. So I think that's why we use that a lot.
There was a moment as I just kind of combed through your material and then went back to a couple things and, just was kind of surfing it, where I thought, this is sexily ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was hilarious in all the like weird, just it was such an oddity that I was like, this must be on purpose.
Wait, what are you referring to?
Yeah, I want to know. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know?
Well,
I'm like everything.
It wasn't even a video. It was just the latex that you're wearing as I'm scrolling through your website, which, by the way, is mothermary.band for everybody. Yeah. Go there. You can get to everything from there, including tickets for the upcoming shows. So you should go there and buy those things. Just the outfits, as I was looking at that stuff, I was like, oh my God, this is like what it provoked in me. I don't know. I'm trying to go back to like what made me laugh about it, because I was man, this is so, I'm looking at,
we're going purposely like as like sexual and dark, and it's almost like we're a horror comedy. We're a horror comedy. Well, and also it's like we grew up with us like being afraid of like this like evil seductress, right? Who was going to hell. And so now it's like liberating to like play her and be like, oh, actually she's like a cunty bitch. Like, and it is fun. It's funny to us. We're like just to go so hypersexual but also scary. And it's like, because to me it's funny that religious people are afraid of sex. They're afraid of that, and they're afraid of the devil, and like, and so we're just like, it is this funny. It's like, okay, like, am I scary? Like, is this scaring you? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious.
And that was the shame part.
There's power. What?
Yes, it's the power.
It's powerful because it's really like, fuck you. Yeah. It's like, you don't like it, fuck, I don't care. This is my body. You wear, like, I feel powerful when I wear that stuff,
Yeah. I that's what it was. Like at the beginning of this conversation, when I was talking about the shame, I was like, why am I so into the fact that I'm essentially being told to fuck off?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Oh,
it was so good.
Also, we play a lot with like, BDSM, like power dynamics, and we're comparing BDSM culture to religious culture, which is so similar, and just like
so similar.
Our society as a whole, BDSM and religion, like they're the same thing basically, but like it's really fun, I think, to flip. We love to flip things on its head, like these stories that we have about men and women, like one, who's empowered, who's out of power, and it's like, when you flip it, it's funny. But it's also refreshing, and it does feel like empowering. But I don't know. I guess I'm not saying it well, but it's just
but it's the bishop who was sitting in the big chair asking you all these intimate questions, like what in the hell? And then bring him into this room where you're wearing the latex and you got the makeup on, and it's like, okay, see what you can get in here.
Back into that room and just be like. Like spit in his face. Literally, I feel like that's why we want to marry, because it's like we are trying to recreate scenarios in which we can like heal ourselves, or we're playing out those scenarios again. But this time we're in power. We're in power. Right. This time I'm not afraid of that fucking disgusting creep, and I'm like gonna scare him. I'm gonna come in there and he's gonna be like, oh my God, what is she gonna do? And that just feels good. And it just like growing up in a society where you're just constantly like, you're disempowered and you're afraid. Like you're afraid of men. You're afraid to show skin or what's gonna happen, and to come out and to be like, I'm not fucking afraid of you. Like you're gonna be afraid of me. Like I want you to be scared of me and wonder what I could do to you. And I think it flips it on its head, and it's like, then it's fun because like who doesn't love a scary movie? But also it makes you think again. And I think men, especially like maybe like hetero cis men in the world, it's like if they experience that with us, I think it could be liberating, because it's the shame thing, like you said. It's like they're like, whoa, I'm kind of feeling, I'm scared, like you're spooky, but I'm feeling things, and it's like, wait, why?
And then you can think about that, like, where is that coming from? Why am I so scared of this? And like, why is that inhibiting to me? And like that, the answer, I think, will free you, you know? So yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Good. The website, once again, everybody, is mothermary.band. You can get to everything from there, and you should get to everything, including the new single, Set Me on Fire. 10 words or less, each of you. Tell me what makes you proud of your sister.
Oh, only 10 words? She's a fighter. Shit, that's 3 already. Fighter.
Those are 3 good ones.
She's brave, and she's a visionary. Oh, wow.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Top that.
Yeah, no, good luck. No, oh my gosh. She is powerful. She is so intelligent. And I don't know, this is so hard. I'm like, how do I wrap it all up? She's so empathetic too.
Wow. Well, I'm a big fan. I hope everybody else out there becomes a big fan. And I appreciate you both for making this art and letting it come to you, because, you know, a lot of times the artistic struggle, at some point you have to, like, you know, I have to succumb to commerce. And it's clear that neither one of you are doing that. So I hope the support is coming in ways that allow you to continue to do it and make it and have resources to reach even further. Once again, the band is Mother Mary. The website is mothermary.band. And you two are magnificent.
On all platforms, for Spotify or Tidal or whatever. Look up our tour. We're touring soon in the fall.
Subscribe to it all.
Yeah, it was such a fun conversation. Yeah, really.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This has been Getting the Gig. Once again, this is an offshoot of the Break It Down show, and you should go back and listen to the Mother Mary episode of the Break It Down show with my co-producer, Pete A. Turner, who happens to also be your cousin. That ought to do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So fun chatting. My computer's about to die. I know, we're out of time.